I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz.
Hey, what's good, Buzz family? Welcome to the Marriage Bootcamp Hip Hop Edition After Show, Season 16, Episode 2. Rap battles are had, issues are discussed, and we're here to talk about all of it. But before we talk about it, allow us to introduce ourselves. I'll start to my left. We have the wonderful Shayna. Shayna, how you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm so excited. This episode was too good, so I'm excited to talk about it.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be fun. Zakiyyah, how you feeling over there?
I am feeling great. I'm happy to be with you guys. I love watching with you guys. So
I love your hair, too. Got the baby hairs laid and everything.
You know.
The bun intact.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
First of all, this whole panel has great hair. We have Shayna with her hair done.
Yes.
She has an audition. Please pray for her today. We got Raiven with the baby hairs laid. And then, last but not least, we have Raiven. How you feeling?
I'm all right, guys. Glad to be here. We're matching with our pinks.
Right.
Okay, I missed the memo. I was okay.
But
it's
you
all
look
right.
good, girl. So
Yes,
you don't.
you do.
You look great.
You can't go bad with like some type of animal
You
print.
can't. You got the
Exactly.
whole like bad girl biker like animal vibe going on. It's real. It's real. And my name is Byron K. Like I said, we have a lot to talk about. There's a rap battle. We talk about who has the biggest issues, who's growing from those issues. We give you guys, the fans, some shout outs. We have our special segment, Counselor's Corner. Zakiyyah is going to introduce that. Then we have news and gossip by Shayna right here. Then we're going to get into our predictions. But before that, I just need some overall thoughts. How'd you feel about the show, the episode, Raiven?
Woo! Communication is not being taught in these households. That's how I feel. No one is listening to no one. Everybody has their own agenda, which is not what a relationship is.
No,
Yeah.
So
you're right, Zakiyyah.
I think this episode was right up everyone's alley. The whole rap battle contest, everyone was having a good time with that, but it also brought down some hard-hitting subjects and some topics that they all needed to talk about. So I thought overall this episode was great, and I'm pretty much ready to see more.
Yeah, Raiven. I mean, not Raiven. Shayna, my bad.
All night, 'cause she called me
Right.
Raiven.
Raven again? No. I think this episode was great. I loved piggybacking off of Zakiyyah. Like, I loved the rap battle part of it where they kind of got to get their own little record, their own little vinyl to talk about their problems and all of that. Like, I loved this episode as far as, like, them growing as couples.
Yeah.
But I would like to say, as Raven said, you know, communication is few and far between with these relationships, and that's a
Yes.
big problem.
I feel like that's the biggest issue in most relationships is for some reason, we all know communication is an issue, but we just keep having these type of issues. Overall, I would just like to say I agree with what Dr. Ish said at the very beginning. Love hurts.
It really
Yeah.
does.
As simple as that. Love hurts. But it started off with Joseline and Ballistic. They're already getting into it as soon as the episode started. Like, wasn't that one of y'all's favorite couple?
Everyone's
love
favorite.
them.
That's your favorite couple?
for entertainment, yes.
I think I'm starting to love them as a couple.
Yeah.
I
I
am. I'm
Yeah.
starting to.
Yeah.
One thing I like about them is they can go at it, and it seems so serious, but then they end up cool, and then they hug and they kiss, and it's like, you crazy. So I do like that. I do like that.
I do too.
I want to say I can kind of relate to their relationship because I'm a little bit of the same way. Like, I'm not as much as Joseline, but like in my personal relationship, I'm like, it's like Joseline and Ballistic. Like he basically like calms her down when she gets too turns up, and I feel like that's what somebody like Joseline needs. She can't have like when she was with Stevie, like we was talking about last week. He's also two turns up. So, like, you can't have two turns up people.
Yeah, I think Ajua said that they're kind of a yin yang to each other. So, like, she is wild, but she needs somebody like him. I love how sturdy he is in the relationship. He don't get too emotional.
Yeah.
He doesn't overreact to what she's doing. He doesn't react, period. He actually just responds. He takes his time and
Right.
responds.
Yeah.
There's a difference between reacting and responding. So I like how he responds, and he's never raised his voice once yet. Now, kind of skipping ahead, we may see something coming up, but as of right now, he hasn't raised his voice. He hasn't disrespected her, which is dope. I really respect that as a man.
I love when you said that. I remember you said that when we were watching. And I also love the fact that even though Joseline is so hard, she actually broke down when Dr. Ish broke it down to her, talking about her past trauma and how it's affecting how she views love. And I love that she was able to be like, you're right, Dr. Ish does know some ish. Because before she was saying Dr. Ish don't know ish. So,
Yeah.
but so he knows some things. So I love how Joseline can actually take accountability, and that's why they're starting to grow on me as a couple.
Yeah, I would agree with that too. I think that helped me see her needing to be married, where that comes from, and made me realize him being pressured and what that feels like. That also comes from someplace for him. But in a relationship, we want the people to be where we want them to be, because we want them to be there, instead of respecting where that came from or why is this person this way. I thought that was cool.
For sure. Let's get into this rap battle then. Were there any bars that stood out to y'all, or just any truths that stood out?
Was there? I mean, for me, I really was rocking with Bianca and Chose. I'm not gonna lie, and I really didn't see me rocking with them, but I think their rap battle was really good. It was entertaining. But to be honest, besides that, like, Styles P had it for me. Like, if I could take some bars, I would be like, Styles P, write that out so I can, like, rap that, spit that to someone else.
Nah, Styles P really was spitting. And somebody who surprised most people, but didn't surprise me, was Stu. Because I could tell by the way they was talking about him, like, watch, he's about to come with some fire. For real. First off, he's a chef, so he can cook up some things, right? So I'm like, Stu is about to come with it. And he did. He really did.
Stu is such an interesting character on the show for me.
Exactly.
Like, yes, he did have bars. I think the worst bars was CeeLo's wife, Shawnee.
You can't do that to her.
I can feel her pain because I am not a rapper. Okay, if anybody asked me to rap anything, I'd be like, can I do it? She owned that, and she was like, I'm not good at this, but I'm gonna do it anyways, and she participated. So I love her for that. But I was like, out of all the couples, Shawnee,
that was kind of whack.
Truly did not know how to write a bar.
Off the top, she got him with the "Let me turn my back on you."
That was like.
That's what I was gonna say. So
That was good.
The thing she did was she compensated for her inability to rap. So she's like, let me just give him a whole show, a whole performance.
What I do know is my petty level is on 1,000. So let me start there.
Awesome. She was entertaining. So like you said, she compensated for her lack of rapping. For sure.
Yeah, but I definitely agree with you about Styles P. He came with the best actual bars. Joseline is funny because she came with a whole song. She came with a hook.
She spoke in her native tongue. She was going.
She had the crowd. She had the crowd.
Yeah,
Joseline had the crowd.
That's the one thing Joseline does know how to do.
They're all pretty hype. I just want them to walk with me like up the street, like go. They're all like hyping everybody up. I thought that was cool.
We need to bring that crowd with us.
I know.
Right.
And speaking of crowd, allow us to tell you guys how much we love the crowd of you that watches us every single week.
Yes, we do love you guys. We love you for joining us and thanking you for making us the ESPN of TV Talk. We love this show. We love that you're watching. And if you're watching, you know what I'm about to say. Go ahead, if you're on YouTube, and give us those thumbs up. Thank you. Go ahead and rate us on iTunes. Comment in the comment section. We love to go back and forth with you guys. And I know we're going to give some shout outs later. But continue watching. Any show you watch, I'm sure it's on AfterBuzz.
Oh, that part. It's all here. And you know what else is here? All these issues. We were already starting to talk about them. So I just want to ask you, Zakiyyah, who do you think has the biggest issue, or which couple do you think has the most obstacles ahead of them?
I couldn't wait till you asked me that. I'm not even gonna lie, because y'all know I couldn't pronounce her name, and it's so easy. Michel'le and Stu, they're never with each other, and I think Joseline had brought that out. And I just feel like they have the most issues because, one, they're never together. You never see them lovey-dovey in the house like everyone else. And then two, it's just odd to me how Michel'le brought Joseline in their relationship out of nowhere when they're all having this conversation, and then all of a sudden she's like, this is it. You like other women. See how you took your hand off of me. And I just feel like, I don't know if it's her. I don't know if the relationship is just like, if something isn't adding up, there's no real problem. It's just that, like the judge was saying, there's no we don't see what it's underneath. We only see the surface of what you're talking about. And to be honest, I haven't seen much of a problem, which I feel like is a problem. If you can't declare what your problem is, you have the worst problem.
She does show it. Her problem is insecurity.
The same one over and over though. I'm just like
insecurity.
Yeah.
And then it's so funny because Stu said like she thinks I like all these women on my wall. Y'all need to take these women down.
Right.
Like I'm not even looking at them like that. And it doesn't matter what he says. She's always gonna be like, yeah, sure. You say that, but is that really how it is? And it's like to a certain point, like you gotta just believe him.
And their relationship is long distance. So it's weird to me that you still need space. Shouldn't you be like all over each other?
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. And they're only been together for 10 months too. So that's still like when you're still infatuated with someone, at least a little bit.
It should be a lot of it. I feel like the first year of a relationship is like the newlywed stage where you're just like, I'm obsessed with you. Right. And especially long distance, like you said, it's just like, I never see you. And now that I'm next to you, I want to be all over you. So I think like the main problem in the house is Michel'le and Stu. I have to agree with you, Zakiyyah, because also it was just very weird to see her change so quickly, like just because he took his arm off her shoulder when they said Joseline's name. And she's like, see, it's because Joseline's a beautiful woman. And I'm like, ooh, okay.
And the funny thing is they had moved on and she interrupted Judge Toller to say that, which is crazy.
And I think Judge Toller like wanted to be like, okay, we need individual therapy outside of couple therapy because she's in a different realm of like past traumas that she hasn't gotten over and reflecting those on Stu. Because like, yes, Stu is younger and yes, Stu might have his whatever, like just the corny little whatever he has. But he's never given her a reason to feel that way from what we know. Right. So it's like, where is this coming from?
He said he approached her. Like, he went after her.
So, like, why do you not think I'm attracted to you? I tried to get you.
Right.
Maybe she's been through this before because she keeps talking about his age, too. You're so young. I think maybe she has a type. Maybe she... And maybe that type that she has let her down. Maybe she's been with the young guy before, and he left her for a young hot rod of a woman. You know what I'm saying? He wanted to take something else for a test drive, and maybe it scarred her. So she thinks that every other guy is like that. She keeps going after. You notice, like most people go after the same type of people that they've already had issues with, guy and girl. They go after the same type.
If you don't deal with it, for sure.
I just feel like if you're going to make the decision to date a younger guy or girl, you can't hold that against them. They can't help how old they are.
Right.
Like you either have to trust them and be in the relationship or not be in the relationship.
Right. Of course, and if you're going to be in a relationship, you can't hold your past against anyone. But obviously, they're all here because of some type of trauma. But like, you can't hold what happened in your past against your relationship. But of course, that's by learned behavior.
And then as a man, sometimes it just depends on the situation. But if it's constant, you're constantly saying you're so young. That could be kind of disrespectful because the one thing we're all trying to do is be grown men. Like as a man, you want to be a man. So when somebody's talking about, oh no, you're so young, it's kind of like it takes you out of like that whole image of being a man and it makes you feel like a boy again.
And it's not like he's chose this like in his 20s. Like he is well into his 30s.
I'm glad you mentioned them. Because, like, okay, I just feel like, what do y'all think of their love? Because they're so young, and I feel like right now it's just so childish.
Absolutely not going to last. So that's a couple I was going to pick.
Absolutely not going to last.
Yeah, and she even said we're the worst couple here. Here's the thing. They've already predicted their demise. So she's saying we're the worst couple in the house, and he's the one saying, like, you know, like, we're just too young. We're this. I hope we make it. Like, all these things. Like, he has all the doubt in the whole relationship, and she has all the doubt in the world in him. So it's like, what can you get from there?
He is past kind of wanting to be there. Something will have to shift in his mindset to even want to fix it. Right now, he's so over her and 600 calls.
Yeah, that's crazy.
How is that possible?
I don't know. Their relationship kind of reminds me of like when I was in college and I had like my first love and I was like, I loved him. You know, you wanted to be in love and you loved him. You just, him. But it's obviously like a relationship that you learn from. That relationship never lasts. And I feel like, I don't know, you guys ever hear about when they say you have like 3 loves in your life? And then it's like the first one, the second one. Girl, that's what the people say to me. So,
what kind of people you talking to?
I don't know.
It's like the young love, the something love.
Yes, and then it's the real love. Yeah, and I feel like they're at their first love right now. Oh,
I need to look into that. I don't know nothing about that.
Girl, you gotta look it up.
Yeah.
It might not be true though. Don't hold me.
We'll mention it
I'm
next
still
week.
single,
We'll look it up.
so like you can't take anything I say that far.
I will say, because she was your favorite last week, right?
He still
She
loves
was.
her.
She grew on me this show in a big sister type of way.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just want to be like, oh, you
Yeah.
poor thing. Like, because you could tell I couldn't tell this last week. I thought you looked crazy. But I could see her sweetness and her
Mm-hmm. I see
wanting to be
potential in
very
people.
loving.
Sure.
It's a very good quality. But I could see her sweet side this time and how loving she is or can be.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever, all that other stuff that I'm not letting him off the hook.
I was
Yeah.
gonna
He's
say.
done some stuff. First of all, she's miscarried, and you're in a
Yeah.
relationship where you dealt with that alone. I think there was some infidelity there. They kind of
I'm sure there was.
tiptoe around it. They never mention it, which to me is actually a credit to her because
Yeah.
she's not fully putting him on blast.
Yeah.
But there's some things that triggered her insecurities, triggered her hurt to make it so explosive, and he just kind of floats through it like he's not a part of it. That's why I like what the judge
And
said.
speaking-
Well, she
speaking
did
of her,
say,
go ahead.
Sorry, I was gonna say she did say in the first episode that he had when they broke up the first
Oh,
time.
that's right.
He
Becky.
had went back to
Yeah.
a white girl, and that made her like feel some type of way because in the industry they always say like once you get hot they leave you for a white girl, whatever the case is. But I think also with Bianca and Chozis, what was confusing for me in this episode was like when they were in the kitchen and he got upset and walked out, and because she was like trying to be affectionate, and he was like, you always want me to be affectionate when you want to be affectionate, and I don't want to be affectionate, and I was like,
'Cause he's
what's
over
happening?
it.
Yeah, I was confused.
What is going on?
Yeah.
is
like she
over
just
it.
asked for a hug.
Right. But I don't think it's just Bianca. Like it's not just her. It's him. It's
Yeah.
him
Oh, yeah.
too. Like we
No,
not
that was the confusing part. I'm like, I'm confused
exactly.
with why you don't want to give your girlfriend a hug.
Right. He's very outside of those moments, like when I'm just watching a show and someone else is talking, not them. He's very physically affectionate with her.
I don't
They're
see
very.
it.
Her legs are across his legs.
Her-
her
but
legs
I
it's
think
always
she
like
forces that, though.
her
She does
on
it.
him.
Oh,
Like,
but
it's
on
always
the
her
moments
legs.
where she was emotional, he
Oh, he did
approached
hug
her.
her.
Yeah,
He still cares
he's-
about her, but
Yeah.
he's definitely getting more disengaged as time passes.
Yeah.
Like he's more disengaged in the second episode than he was in the first
true.
episode.
That's
As
true.
time goes by, unless they actually do work to improve these things, then he's probably going to already be out the door without physically being out the door already. But how you mentioned her hurt, speaking of that, I think that she hurts herself a lot, and she's not wrong, but she is responsible for that aspect of it, because I think she wants love so much that she throws herself at love. She doesn't embrace love and let it come to her. She tries to force love. So I think that's what she's trying to do with Chose, is force that love instead of letting it happen naturally, whether it's with him or somebody else. Just like she said to, I forgot who she was talking to, but she said, when I want something so bad, no matter what it is, I'm going to go after it.
Right.
And that's not always healthy, especially when it comes to true love. You know what I'm saying? You can't just like go after that if that's not the love that's for you.
Right.
I love when you speak, because I feel like you bring like a male's perspective. Because as a woman myself and a go-getter, I feel like I'm a Bianca in some natural sense. Like I'm like, when I want it, I'm gonna go get it. And for you to be like, you have to wait and be patient. Like I feel that. So I love how you said that. I felt that. That
Yeah.
resonated with
I
me.
think it's also a mixture of the two, though. Like, yes, that's true, but at the same time, people have love languages. Like, that is a thing.
Right.
And if your love language is like quality time and mine is like gifts, like when you give me quality time and you're not understanding why I'm not receiving the quality time the way you want me to, that's where it gets
Right.
messed up. Like that's where it's like you have to understand who that person is and what their love language, what they receive as a love language.
Right, true.
Right.
I think like Bianca is like physical touch, and obviously Chozis is like, that is not what I want.
Right.
No, I think he does want it. I think he's just over it from her right now. Because I bet if there was another woman in there that he was attracted to and she was all over him, he probably wouldn't have a problem.
Possibly.
We
It's
don't know.
Their
Right.
relationship,
Speculation.
it looks like
Allegedly.
it looks like, of course we don't know, but if it feels like he just never said sorry to her. Like he just never looked at her for whatever everything was and said, baby, I'm so sorry.
I think he feels that time is going to heal. Like, oh, you should just be over it because it happened in the past.
Right.
And that's not right. But I think that's where he's
that's
at.
a man thing?
No, that's a young thing. I feel it's a thing with people, but sometimes I feel like in your younger relationships, you see that more often, where you're not accepting accountability. You're kind of just believing that it's all just going to pass by. We can just get over it, or we just break up, whatever. You don't really care that much. You don't put in that much effort.
I do want to say though, it was also a thing on the Instagram live that Bianca did where she was saying like she had got with another guy too. So maybe he's just not over the fact that she had moved on for a second too, or she was with somebody else too. Like, yes, he messed up, but I think, and you can speak to this, you're a guy, but like, I think a lot of times guys' egos take over their emotion. And like when the girl that you love is with another guy, it's hard to get over that that aspect.
Oh, yeah, no, male ego and male pride is definitely a real thing.
Yep.
And we always want to have control over the situation. And when we don't, that's when we start tripping. It's like, wait, I don't control this no more. I don't control the emotions or how she feels or her love no more. She took that somewhere else. So now what am I supposed to do?
Right.
But, okay, well, on the flip side of that coin then, we see who has the biggest issues, but who's growing the most in this house?
Okay.
Well, CeeLo and Shani and Styles and
Adjoa.
The OGs,
Adjoa,
basically.
They are low key.
Yeah.
I don't think we've seen the fullness of what's there to even see the growth. It's kind of...
Yo, my point to that actually is it's so crazy. I just thought about this. One thing that's so different about Bianca and Chose and the older couples is literally just the age gap and the generational differences.
Yes.
So how Chose and Bianca's one of their issues is how they're always putting things on social media, seeing things on social media. CeeLo and Shani and Styles and Adjoa, they didn't ever have to go through that. They probably started their relationship way before social media.
Definitely.
So social media was never even a thought when they had issues. So just growing up in a whole different generation can change the dynamics of a relationship. So I just realized that. But definitely the OG couples are growing.
Yeah.
I think it's hard to see their growth. I think in the actual episode I had wrote down that I agreed with the judge where she said, I don't see your problems when you communicate. I only hear you speak of them. And I think that's something to say for generational. Like they don't express to the public what their actual problems are. They just kind of deal with it internally. And I think as the season goes on, I guess this is probably a prediction, but we'll see more growth with them because I can't say that I've seen growth with them because they started out as like, I didn't really know what the problem was. Styles P and Adjoa are so cute. They're in their confessionals. They always agree with each other. They're very calm. Like CeeLo and Shani, you can see that they have a power issue, but other than that, it's like they seem fine. So yeah, I don't know if I would say I've seen the most growth from them just because I haven't seen the problem yet.
Right.
I would say Ballistic and Joseline has the most potential.
Growth.
For growth.
Yes.
Because she, even to be a personality like her, there's a certain freedom in her. To even be, not care what people think. Those type of people are very vulnerable. So that's just easier to change. And he's just so mature. It's just easier to change.
I would definitely agree with all of you. Like, I don't see the growth from any couple, to be honest. I see more bad from certain couples than actual growth or good, unfortunately. But it's also day 2, and I feel like they're still stuck in the day 1 phase where they're just now starting to open up. I think CeeLo was saying how he wants to open up, but it's a little hard for him. I mean, and like you guys were saying about the generational thing, that's a big factor because it seems like mostly right now, our couples who are very open, which is, I would say, Bianca and Chose, they're used to being open because they've told the entire world their issues. Like, she had no problem with saying, I had 3 miscarriages. Well, 2 abortions and 1 miscarriage, which is nothing wrong with that at all. But the fact is, like, they were able to say that, and just to bring up, like, she has nothing to do with this, but Beyonce, like, you never heard of her miscarriages for a long time, and she's part of that generation who's very secretive. So I'm just seeing, like, that communication gap for sure.
What do you guys think when I was like, why did CeeLo get so mad? She just wanted to go run the bath.
Because he was talking. Like,
I would be upset too.
Really?
Yes, because they were having a conversation and she's like, can we bring this to the bathroom? I want to do what I want to do. Like, we're talking. Like, just be actively listening.
True.
Because when you're thinking about running your bath and I'm talking, it kind of gives off the idea that like you're not all the way in the conversation. You're
And
thinking
she
about
wasn't.
something else.
Because she's
True.
a human being. She probably
Yeah.
wasn't. But just like you so nicely communicated that.
Right.
Like, dang, babe. You just,
But
like,
it's like what's more important, this bath or this conversation? Like, pick one right now.
My yes and to that, so yes. And I think with CeeLo, it's a little bit more amplified because he's a straight up poet, which is a blessing and a curse. The thing about CeeLo that's so dangerous about him is he has the words and the wisdom to be able to talk himself through any situation or out of any
and
conversation.
when I hear him speak, I just think, what you just say?
He
though?
could be saying something wrong, but make it sound so right. Those are some dangerous
Right,
people right
exactly.
there.
No, like seriously, he can talk you out of anything.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
give
Right.
CeeLo, what you say? Just my bank account number? You just gonna use it real quick? Okay. But for me, I wouldn't be mad. But
Me
I'm also
either.
like, I'm her. I'm a multitasker to the T. So like I could be having a conversation with you and I'll be like, yeah, I'll be looking like emailing someone else and I'm like, okay, yeah, so I'm that person.
Right.
So
I feel
for
like
me,
she didn't do it mid-sentence or
and she
anything.
did, I feel like she didn't say it rude, but I again agree.
She didn't say it rude, but it's just the fact of like cutting off the conversation to say you want to go do something else.
Right.
It's just like, and again, earlier in the episode, he said, if I take it as disrespect, I want to be disrespectful.
Yes.
He takes those type of things as disrespect, and they've been together for 8 years. Like, it's, and again, they have a power issue. So it's
Yes.
like her understanding that like if you interrupt this conversation to say you want to go run a bath, he's gonna get upset, and him
Right.
being like understanding that she's more of a free spirit. She can
Yeah.
kind of do more things. Like they have to understand each other so that they can communicate better because they were trying to communicate.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's just that they're not communicating the same way.
Right.
Yeah,
And then it ended.
Yeah.
Because he could have spoke to me the same way you just did. But in that situation, even though to me he overreacted, if I were her, I would have went back. 'Cause
Agreed.
in my mind, it's like, okay, this is a big deal to him. Let me go back. She
Right.
still went to the.
She was like,
to
I'm
the
going to
bath.
run my bath.
Yeah.
But he didn't say it like you said it. I think, like Raiven was saying, if I would have received it like that, I would have been like, oh, oops. Like, you
Yeah,
know, my
my
bad.
bad.
I understand. But again, she should kind of know. I'm 8 years of them
Right.
being in
Yeah.
a relationship. You know, but I have no idea. It's something they have to work on, their communication.
Yeah. I mean, it is day 2 in this counseling house.
We still got time.
So.
And I like how you said you're a multitasker. We're going to put it to the test. We have a special segment. Zakiyyah, would you like to introduce it?
Yes, I would. So basically what I'm going to tell you guys is every week when we come here, we talk about Counselor's Corner. So that being said, this is our special segment, and we speak of things that resonated with us, whether it was something the counselor said or something that we heard. And we say, why did it resonate with us? What did we learn from it? Whatever, so be it. So I'll go first, and I'll hand it off to my beautiful, beautiful host here. But so I think with Dr. Ish, for me, when he was having his conversation with Joseline and Ballistic, he said, from the abuse, it taught you that love hurts. So basically, they were having a conversation, and she, from her past traumas and abuse, that taught her what love was, and that love hurts, and although it's not hurting now, it's going to hurt eventually, and that's why she's so pushy. So that was a big step that I took in account for, you know, my past loves, that maybe it is something that I've always in the back of my mind, I'm like, yeah, this is cool, but it's not going to last long. I'm always a little pessimistic about certain situations. I'm like, yeah, I got his number, but I'm probably not going to talk to him tomorrow. but I'll pass it to Byron because I know you got some good stuff.
Okay, well, I would just keep it real simple, and it's what Judge Toller basically, and I'm paraphrasing right now, said to Michel'le, and that's, girl, chill out. Calm down.
Yeah.
It's not that serious. You're overreacting. You're creating the same problems that you're trying to avoid, so just stop.
True.
Yeah, she was like, I normally don't say that you're wrong, but you're wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's mine.
What about you?
I'm going to go back to the one quote I already said, but this really resonated with me when CeeLo was like, if I take it as disrespect, I want to get disrespectful. And I think that anybody who has any type of like intense temper or conversational skills, like you can relate to that, because sometimes it's like you can take the littlest thing as disrespect and then you look like the bad guy because you respond with disrespect.
I feel like you've been there before, Miss
Oh,
East
I
Coast.
have.
Miss East
I was
Coast.
gonna say, I see the New York coming out of her right now. It's like steaming.
It's a thing. No. But I took that and I was like, yeah, like that's serious. Whenever you have a good communication relationship with anybody, a friend, a teacher, a person on the street, you have to understand that you can't respond to disrespect with disrespect. You have to kind of turn what you're saying into something at least a little positive.
In other words, lead with love.
Yep.
Lead with love.
That's a good one. That's really good.
That's what the show needs. For me, it was so many. But I would say overall kind of theme is everyone's fear. Everyone had a fear. We saw the fear. And in the fearing, they create the fear. Everything we fear, we create. And that they're just all examples of it, like on TV.
Wow.
Showing us. So
That got deep.
we have to deal with ourselves.
Boom,
Yeah.
that part.
Right.
Well, while we're dealing with ourselves, we're going to go straight into our... Dun-dun-dun. Did we do fan shout-outs? No, let's do our fan shout-outs. So I'm about to shout some of y'all out. So we got a few comments. Thank y'all for tuning in every single week. And please leave comments now because we can read them next week for y'all. We have one comment from Miss Rakita Doby. Shout out to you, girl. She's been an audience member of a lot of shows that I've done. She's so dope. She leaves a lot of comments. She said, I don't think Michel'le and Stu are really together. And this turned into a whole conversation because we had Miss Raiven French step up in here and say, that's not the first time I've heard that. So you think it's just to be on the show for publicity? She responded, most likely. I think I saw a preview where it comes out that one of the couples lied about being a couple. They claim they've only been together for 10 months. They don't even live in the same state. And plus, her reasoning for why they're there, I'm not saying it's not a valid reason, but it just seems made up to me. Like they created the story to get on the show. She's going off of her own thoughts. She hasn't given any scenario of when something happened that would make her feel that way. So I don't know. I don't believe their story. Oh my goodness gracious.
She's speaking facts though.
I can see that. No. Speaking of which, when Stu was rapping, he said something about a bag. Like, but now I got the bag. And he dropped them. Yo.
That makes sense.
This
That
is
makes
a
sense.
publicity stunt / get rich scheme.
He's trying to get chef clients.
And then we have one more comment from Jada Harrington. Shout out to you, girl. She said, I think so too, because Bianca is pregnant by Choses and everybody else is married or together for a long time. So who knows? Maybe they threw something together for the show. I guess it'll all show at the end, right? But those are our fan shout-outs. Please keep tuning in. Keep leaving comments because we read those. We love giving y'all shout-outs, and we love y'all, as we already said. So we will go straight into our news and gossip, and Shayna has all the tea.
Yes, I do. Every week I'll have the tea for you guys, but this week I'm going to keep it short and simple, but it's good tea. So Adjua Styles has a book that's out, recent book that came out. It is called The Internal Hike, How to Discern the Privilege of Loss Through the Power of Love. Now, we all know in the first episode that we learned that they lost, Styles P and Adjua lost a child, and this book is basically just her reflections on like how to deal with that type of loss and how to get through any situation with love. And if you follow Adjua on Instagram, you can kind of follow. She puts out little statements and things like that as far as like what the book can be about and what you can read up front before buying the book. So make sure you follow her on Instagram to get all the tea on her book.
Ooh, I love that.
Yeah, it looks like a really good book. I've read the reviews and I've read like the little blurb that they have and all. It looks like it's really a good book.
The power that they have as a relationship and her just keeping calm and really understanding their loss, that sits with me so much, and I definitely would probably read the book.
Honestly, like I can't even imagine what parents go through when losing a child, and then for her to even have the amount of courage and bravery to write a book on their journey and be on TV about their journey, I think is amazing.
Wow.
That's a queen right there.
Yes.
True. All right, y'all. Well, we're going to wrap things up with our predictions.
Yes.
Your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
So, Raiven, I'm going to let you start it off with the predictions.
Oh, these kind of shows are so hard for me to predict. We talked about it earlier, right? That we have to see CeeLo and Styles open up a little more. Styles just broke down, which I love. Thank you for that vulnerability, man. I love it. So I would say for sure we're going to see more from them. We see a little bit of heightened, not anxiety, what's our anger in the house.
Animosity.
Yes, we saw that that's going to happen. But I still think, because I said this last week, my Puerto Rican princess and her guy, I think she's going to crack open. I think she's going to soften up as much as she can soften up for what her natural state of being is.
Yeah, that's a good take.
Yeah. Oh, this is hard. Okay, I think Joseline is gonna crack some more codes, man, because she is pointing people out. She is pointing people out. I think that she's gonna be the main person that brings it to the table, whatever secret there are. I mean, she is digging deep, and I feel it in my spirit. That's what she gonna do.
I'm gonna actually take a prediction from last week, and when Zakiyyah said that Joseline and Bianca Bonney were gonna get into an argument, I think that that's definitely gonna happen. I don't know if you guys peeped in the preview for this episode that something's gonna go on, and there was like a confessional with Bianca, and I was like, that's about Joseline. I just can feel it in my bones. They're gonna get into a situation, and
when
it's
she
coming
said,
up.
if she say the B word one more time.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, she's talking about Joseline.
Okay.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
no one else would speak. Yeah. Let's speak that way. Yeah.
I agree. So I definitely think Joceline's going to keep being Jocelyn. It's not even, I think she's going to blow up. She always blows up. So Joseline is going to be Joseline. Ballistic, I think we're going to see him raise his voice. And whenever somebody who's like him, who's so calm, actually does get mad, that's a problem. You don't want to see that.
To turn up.
So I think he's definitely going to turn up, and then Bianca's going to stay turned. And I think that Chose is just going to be chilling, doing his thing.
Right.
Who knows? Who knows? But it's not going to be good. Whatever they do
Everybody's gonna be themselves.
yeah, everybody's going to be themselves. So everybody said their predictions?
Yeah.
That was everybody's? Boom. Well, in that case, let us know what your predictions are. Please leave a comment, and also follow us on all social platforms at AfterBuzz TV. Catch us here every single week, same time, same place. We're here Sundays at 6 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time. My name is Byron K. You can find me everywhere online at Hero from the 90s. Shayna, where can they find you?
I'm at Shay Live on all social media platforms.
Hey guys, I'm Zakiyyah Wilbert. You can find me on all platforms at Zakiyyah W_.
And I am Raiven French, Raiven with an I, Raiven, French like the language, on all social media.
Straight like that. And until next time, stay blessed, stay beautiful, stay buzzing.
Yes. Bye.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.